Hello and welcome to the Let's Talk Azure podcast with your host Sam Foote.
And Armstrong.
If you're new here, we're a pair of Azure and Microsoft 365 focused IT security professionals. It's episode 5 of season 7. Alan and I this week will dive into the new releases in February. Here are a few things that we're going to cover. Any key Microsoft Entra, Intune and Defender XDR, their features, any updates and announcements. We'll also be talking about any changes to Azure, Defender for Cloud, so any new features, anything that's gone into preview or any potential retirements as well. We've noticed that a large number of you aren't subscribed. If you do enjoy our podcast, please do consider subscribing. It would mean a lot to us for you to show your support to the show. We've got loads to cover and it's going to be a great episode, so let's get started. Hey Alan, how are you doing this week?
Hey Sam, not doing too bad. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I think we need to talk about a bit of news, but it should be for a piece of news, but it's not that month's news, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. I've just got it up to make sure I know everything about it yet.
It's finally happened, Alan. After, how long has it been since we've made this joke? How long's it been, Alan?
3-4 years? Got to be in it.
What are we talking about, Alan? What is the big news from... Was it this week or was it last week? I can't remember.
I think
it was this week, wasn't it?
Yeah, this week.
Yeah.
Microsoft 365 E7.
Whoa.
The Frontier Suite.
For Frontier organizations, I believe. Right? For people that... So it's E5 with Copilot, and there's a new
Agent 365 and Entra Suite.
Oh, and you get Entra Suite.
Yeah.
Okay, news to me. Okay, cool. Oh, that's good. Yeah. I like that suite. I think that's good.
Yep. Retailed at $99 per user per month.
Yes. Well, I suppose when you... okay, forget about what was it called? Agent 365. That's the new thing, isn't it? Right? And isn't that from tracking your agents, I believe, and how they're used internally?
Centralized governance, visibility, control.
Because I saw the stats on that Microsoft said that they had 500,000 agents that they were using internally and like 60,000 interactions per day. Crazy. And I think I can't remember the exact, I think they said like 3 million have been created or something. Bonkers. Really good to see. So forget about that part for a second. Is this cheaper if you had bought E5, Copilot and Entra Suite? I assume it would be already.
It might be cost equivalent, I think. Because I think they were saying, I can't remember where it is now, there's like $115 for all of it. And I think... Oh,
because Entra, Agent 365 is $15 a month, isn't it? I think
something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's $15. Which I'm going to say I thought that seemed quite expensive. Because you enable the practice of creating agents and then you've got to pay to manage them. But anyway... I suppose they do need managing, and that sort of scale, you don't want to have to try and manage that by hand. I suppose it just felt like it just felt quite a lot relative to like the cost of Copilot, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, and I guess you got the Work IQ covering all of that as well. I think that's the idea, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, but I can't believe we're finally here. Do we know of anybody that's excited yet? It's coming May. Is it May 1st?
Yeah, around then, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, quite a lot of organisations have most of it apart from Entra Suite, probably.
Yeah, true. Yeah, and there's probably people out there that do have the full, tick box, I suppose.
So based on what we were just talking about, the suggestion is that 365 E5 with Teams is $60. Entra Suite is $12, Copilot $30.
Okay.
So that's $102.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, E7, if you've got those,
It's marginally cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're not using, if you weren't looking to get an Entra suite and you're going to get the agent, which is $15, then it's not the same price, but it's cheaper still and you get all of it.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting that we're finally there. It was almost like a joke for such a long time.
Yeah.
Do you think E9 will bring
oh god,
Intune Suite? what else have we got to tag on?
Intune Suite's already in E5.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Yes, that's right. So okay. Yeah. Okay. Right. No. Whoa. Right. So, is this actually everything?
The only thing we don't know is if it's got the Microsoft Defender Vulnerability Management add-on in it. That little SKU that they've probably might have left to the side that should be part of it, really.
Okay. I kind of almost want it to not be everything. Just so I can make E9 jokes for the next 4 years.
No, I think it is. I think we're at the point where we thought E5 had everything.
Yeah.
And then the suites came out.
Yeah. But but from a product development perspective, it wasn't actually like a bad way to go, really, was it? Because maybe they created acquired, X, Y, and Z, all of those additional products, right? Because what did we had? We had Intune Suite, Entra Suite, Copilot, and now Agent 365. So it wasn't until all of those things that were in place, and like you said, what was it? Is it Intune Suite moved to E5, didn't it? And earlier before. So actually, did they just wait to bundle it? Did they just not feel like they had enough, value there? So,
or a reason to have another tier.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I forgot about that it had gone into there, right?
Yeah, it's just the MDVM add-on that's, I think, missing.
And Defender for IT.
Yeah.
Technically. But not... Yeah, well, no, this is the enterprise side, so we shouldn't count that, should we?
No, you get enterprise IoT, don't you?
Yeah, you do, yeah. Yeah, we shouldn't... Yeah, no, we're not going to call that out. I'm just trying to find things. Yeah, okay, cool. No, that's really cool. Yeah, it's great to see. Great to see. It'll be interesting to see what the uptake is on it. I'm not sure I know of an org that has.
I know of one.
Do you? Yeah. Okay.
I'm just thinking that they're already E5 and they're going to be getting Entra Suite next, and they've already got Copilot.
Yeah. So it kind of makes sense
to move. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can be part of the press release and all sorts, can't you, if you want to be? So.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. No. Really cool. I just thought those stats, Copilot and agent stats, were just crazy when I saw them. Like crazy in like a good way, I think. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Right, sorry, that was news that we shouldn't talk about because it's not news, is it?
Wait, it is news, but not February news.
It's not. Yes. It's not this news, but we couldn't not talk about it. Right, yeah. So yeah, if you're new here, every month we do an episode on the news from the previous month. We just go through the items that we think are cool and care about, I would probably say. So this is not everything, far from it. But Alan, do you want to kick us off from your side?
Yeah, sure. So I'll go through the Defender suite, Purview and Entra and all those sort of things, all the productivity sort of security, I guess. So let's go to Defender XDR itself. So the following advanced hunting schema tables are now generally available, which is identity account information, Entra ID sign-in events, Entra ID SPN sign-in events, and Graph API audit events. So that's quite good, because that means that potentially you don't need to ingest them into Sentinel, because they're in there, in the XDR pool. Unless you need them longer than the 30 days that you can query them. But that's quite good on that part. Moving on. Let's just check this. So the Unified Security Operations, so it's kind of the management part of kind of all the interaction with the XDR pool, with Sentinel and Defender all in the one place. There's a new content types for cross-tenant distribution now generally available for the MTO. These allow you to distribute across multiple tenants, and it is analytic rules, automation rules, and workbooks now. So bringing in more of the Sentinel stuff.
Yeah, do you think that's the same tag? Like Workspace? Is it called Workspace Manager on the Sentinel side?
Yeah. I mean, that's probably going to be going now. MTO's taking over now, isn't it? So
yeah, I was just thinking that because there was only certain resources I think you could sync with that. It might have been the same list, or it might have been more on that. I can't remember. But yeah, no, cool, really good.
Moving on, Defender for Office. So the announcement is that they're expanding the user reporting in Teams to Defender for Office 365 Plan 1. So moving it from minimum of Plan 2 to Plan 1. Users can report external and intra-org Microsoft Teams messages for chats, standard, shared, and private channels, meeting conversations to Microsoft as malicious. Security risks to auto-reporting mailboxes.
Nice.
So that's good. Bringing some of that tech down. Not that matter really, because everyone's going to go E7. So, moving on. Defender for Endpoint. So there was an interesting preview in Library Manager for live response, to be able to put your scripts and a few things like that in a central repository in Defender that you can then pull from when you're in live response. So previously, if you wanted to run a tool locally that wasn't part of the standard sort of tool set, you had to be able to grab it from a network share or from a blob storage, using commands, etc., providing that you're allowed to go and get it. Now Microsoft have brought in your own repository to be able to upload stuff into there. So I think that's really good as well.
Really good,
tool set. Effective settings tab. So effective settings tab against the machines allows you to see what is actually configured on the endpoint, rather than fully relying on Intune saying that it's push the config in effect, or I suppose it would be Intune or the MDE sort of integration. This is good to understand what other mechanisms may be causing that config to be adrift. You might have GPO winning on that side. At least you can understand that sort of bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Moving on to Defender for Identity. Okay, so there's some new identity security alerts. I will talk about the Active Directory ones, and they are possible golden token attack, suspicious ticket, and possible Kerberos key list attack. Now, I'm pretty sure golden ticket was one already in the list, but I'm guessing they've upgraded it in the Active Directory space. And now there are some new Entra ID alerts. Suspicious user configuration change, activity from Entra ID sync application. Get my words out. Anomalous OAuth device code authentication activity. Suspicious graph API request made from Entra ID sync application. Suspicious sign-in observation from Entra ID sync application. And suspicious sign-in with CSRF speed bump trigger. Don't ask me what that is.
Sorry, what is that, Alan?
Yeah, I knew you were going to do that. Unsure. what that last one is. I am quickly looking. Maybe I will look for it later when you're doing your bits. But yeah, so that's to help support the change to the Entra ID sync, isn't it, to application?
Yeah.
So an extra alerts about how that app is being used. So that's good. Moving on to Defender for Cloud Apps, and there wasn't any new news this month. The last one was in January around Workday Connector updates to least privileged. Now on to Microsoft Sentinel. Microsoft Sentinel UEBA behavior layer is now generally available. So whilst it was baked in to Sentinel itself, I think now this is feeding into the XDR sort of plane now. There's a new UEBA behavior workbook to help SOC teams get value from behaviors from day one. There is a new preview for Generate Playbook using AI in Microsoft Sentinel. So, SOAR playbook generation creation, Python-based authentication, automation workflows, co-authored through a conversation experience with Klein, an AI coding agent. So, not heard of that one. But yeah, I'm guessing that's going to be on the notebook kind of side, isn't it? Maybe.
Yeah.
So
that sounds about right. Yeah.
Okay. So that is that. There is something in March, but it's not March. Well, it is March, but it's not for March news. We're now into Purview. Right. So under February, under developers sort of scenario, Microsoft Purview enables software developer companies to integrate governance, protect, and compliance capabilities into their applications using the SDK and APIs. A new list of partner integrations is now available with a link to it. So I did go and check that link out. And the software development integration ones are around network data security, and that is the iBoss and Netscope integration into DLP. And then the only other one was Purview for generative AI app integration. And the only app that's in there that that's outside of, I guess, Copilot and ChatGPT is Miro. So,
as in the whiteboard thing.
I guess so.
Miro, yeah, Miro.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a collaborative whiteboard. Tool. It's a lot more than that. I'm absolutely destroying the product, but yeah, that's cool.
But yes, that's got true integration, or it's got Purview built into it in effect.
Yeah, because there's probably quite a lot of confidential information that gets put into a system like that.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Insider risk preview. Microsoft Fabric indicators are now include Lakehouse indicators. In preview as well, a new quick policy template for detecting data theft from non-Microsoft 365 apps by users leaving your organization is now available. So that's going to be around network traffic side of things. So that's the integration with iBoss, Global Secure Access, and the other one, Netscope, that I was just talking about. So I think it was only AI that was kind of suggested for that integration. So that's better. Is there a new? Oh, there's a new one. The one I'm thinking about is this month, so I can't talk about it. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. There's a few bits around data governance, but I don't really work in that space, so I don't want to do any disjustice.
I think you do. I think you can.
I'll probably give him Purview disjustice, but
no way, Alan. Never.
Moving on. Okay, so hitting the Entra side, and then we'll talk about Global Secure Access Client itself. So the latest version in February, support for private access for Microsoft Entra registered devices preview. for bring your own devices. So being able to allow unmanaged device to have access to your corporate network using the private access from an unmanaged device. So you can do MFA and everything, etc. to make sure you're still a trusted device. Oh,
that's cool. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
So that could be access to like your internal VDI, I suppose, things like that if you wanted to, or just some web apps maybe. It could be more than that, of course, but they've done some optimization into the intelligent local access ILA detections by reevaluating the status for each network change. There's also the trace cert includes a 50 meg speed test as well now for that. So yeah, not too bad on that.
Yeah.
Just need to work on multi-session for it.
Yeah.
Right. Moving on to Entra. There was a couple in here I found. Microsoft Entra Connect security update to block hard match for privileged roles. So with Microsoft Entra Connect or Cloud Sync, it adds new objects from Active Directory. When those Entra Connect or Cloud Sync add new objects from Active Directory, Microsoft Entra ID Service tries to match the incoming objects with a Microsoft Entra Object D. Looking up by incoming objects, anchors, etc. If there's a match, Microsoft Entra Connect Sync takes over the source authority of the object and updates it. That doesn't sound like what I thought it was. That definitely doesn't sound like what the...
I thought you were going to come up with like a hybrid type lateral jump. Do you know what I mean? Of a privileged role or something like that. I thought you were going to lead up. To some sort of.
I'd have to look at it a bit more, but I thought the idea was that basically, when I first read it, was that if it sees a privileged role, it won't sync it up to the cloud. Is what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, exactly, something like that. Like, we'll strip it. Strip it.
Oh, yeah. If the cloud managed user already has a mutable ID anchor and is set and is assigned a privileged role, it will no longer be able to sync it over to change the source authority over. Right. Okay. Yeah. So it's a bit of that. Yeah. Absolutely butchered that. Never mind.
If you just kept skimming through it, you would have got to it.
Yeah. There's an upcoming change that jailbreak detections are going to be an authenticator app. There's a public preview for BYOD support for Windows clients using Microsoft Entra registration. That is the bit I talked about. Basically, users and partners can access corporate resources from their own device. Admins can assign the private application traffic profile to internal accounts, including guest users. Yeah, we know. Yeah, that's cool. There's a generally available for a new block page. And Microsoft Entra Connect Sync is now supported on Windows Server 2025.
Oh, nice. I always felt really awkward having to say that when I'm talking about prereqs. And there's with the type of people that I work with, that's not a disservice to them. They're there for the banter. Do you know what I mean? And then it just derails the conversation massively. But no, that's cool. That's good. What do you think that was? Did you think it was just QA? It seemed a bit weird. Yeah.
Yes, but I also think there's a deeper integration with Entra with 2025 and domain controllers as well. I've seen some stuff, I can't remember where it was, where there's some it sounds terrible saying some things happen, but it's some
specific
things, make some things better, but
okay.
No, there is some integrations that I think make it almost close to some of that the integration with Entra itself. So I think they may have had to not re-engineer it, but maybe tweak it because of those new connections, maybe to maybe allow it to do less. Don't know, but yeah, I reckon it was around that. So moving on to Intune, and under the Intune Suite banner, Entra, endpoint privilege management support for AVD. It's an interesting one. Single session virtual machines. So we had to do it on, just VDIs in that effect. That's quite good. App management, Lenovo device orchestration, link into Intune Admin Center. It's basically it's an integration to the partner portal to be able to so this is probably to manage your autopilot configuration with them as well.
Yeah,
as we were talking about another thing earlier. Newly available protected apps for Intune. Clarity Express for Intune. Datadog. Quick Analytics. And Tier 1 for Intune by SS&C Technology. So there's some new ones there. New settings for Windows in the Windows catalog. Microsoft Edge allow sharing tenant approved browsing history with Microsoft Copilot Search. Enable RAM resource control, so you can actually stop Edge taking all your RAM. That's good and bad, I think, at that point, because definitely some of our colleagues. I'm thinking of Chris.
Tabs.
Chris with his tabs.
You'll need a CSP for maximum tabs in there as well.
Maximum tabs, chief. Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm just gonna go on mute and I'm gonna see if that's possible. 2 seconds. Keep going.
Yeah, let's just take a look. I don't think there's much more. So device management, more options for assignment filters, device managed type property for managed apps on Android and iOS. So you can say corporately owned with WorkPro. So yeah, in effect, just the different types there that you can see. Same thing for iOS. Inventory. No, that's okay. No, I think that's probably it on this part. Yeah. I think that is it for me for this time. I think it's over to you, Sam, unless you found the
I haven't.
the tab limit.
I don't believe so. I can't see one. There is an extension, but nothing first party.
To limit you.
Tab limiter, Microsoft Edge add-ons, version 0.01. You should check that out. Not. Right, okay, sorry, yeah, onto my side, yeah. So I typically cover Defender for Cloud and Azure. So, okay, February, yeah, we've got quite a few changes to... we've got a few changes on Defender for Cloud. So we have a new preview for the threat protection for AI agents. So this enables threat protection for AI agents that are built with Foundry, the new collective area for AI building in Azure, previous cognitive services, etc., etc. It's part of the Defender for AI services plan. So it gives you security through development, understanding your actionable threats, following OWASP guidelines for LLM and agentic AI systems. So if you are building AI agents, there's a Defender for Cloud plan for you there. I'll definitely check that out at some point. Cloud infrastructure entitlement management. I can't ever pronounce the acronym. Recommendations are now available as a native capability within Defender for Cloud across Azure, Amazon Web Services, and Google Cloud Platform. So let's just talk about the key changes. So, inactivity identity detections now evaluate unused role assignments instead of sign-in activity. The inactivity look-back window has been extended from 45 days to 90 days. Identities created within the past 90 days aren't evaluated as inactive. The permission creep index, RIP, is deprecated and no longer appears in recommendations. Is it SIAM? Who knows? Onboarding no longer requires elevated high-risk permissions. On Azure, inactive identity recommendations include evaluation of read level permissions. AWS requires cloud trail logs, to be enabled in the Defender CSPM plan, and also on the GCP side, cloud logging ingestion is also required for it to work. So yeah, check that out. That's some quite big changes, I think, there in especially like the look back period is really good.
Yeah.
Now available are simulated alerts for SQL servers on machines. The alerts are now generally available so that you can simulate an alert to validate SQL protection, your detection and monitoring responses without introducing actual real risk. It does give you a full SQL and machine context. So it does allow you to sort of, test end-to-end your playbooks as well, because you actually get data there. But yeah, it is simulated alerts. Right, Microsoft Defender for SQL is now introducing a database level recommendations for the SQL vulnerability assessment. So this is now in preview. So it covers all supported data types, PAS and IaaS, both classic and express configurations as well. And it is both available in the Azure and Defender portals. So the SQL vulnerability assessment rule will generate a separate assessment for each affected database. Assessments are displayed and managed as recommendations on the Defender for Cloud recommendations. So before, when you saw recommendations for SQL databases, in Defender for Cloud, they would have been rolled up, into a singular item. So it would have said SQL databases should have vulnerability findings resolved, or SQL Server on machines should have vulnerability findings resolved. So essentially, this database level experience keeps all the same capability, but it gives it to you. It gives it to you in a nicer way to consume that data, essentially. So yeah, check out the vulnerability assessment rules reference, see what's included now on those database level recommendations as well. Now supported binary drift now supports blocking in preview, so you can now configure binary drift policies to not also detect but block unauthorized changes to container images at runtime. So it helps to prevent potential security breaches, stopping the execution of drifted binaries in containers that have been tampered with. So yeah, go and check that out. And our last one is another preview. Container runtime anti-malware detection and blocking. So it provides real-time protection and prevention of malware in containerized workloads across Azure Kubernetes Service, Amazon Elastic Kubernetes Service, and Google Kubernetes Engine environments. You create anti-malware rules and define conditions for generating alerts and blocking malware, helping you to protect your cluster from threats whilst minimizing false positives. we don't like malware, so that is a pretty good addition. So that's my Defender for Cloud updates. Not too many in Azure, actually. I thought we were going to have more than this on my favorited list, but yeah, like I said, we do only pick the stuff that sort of we get excited about. Now generally available is the default rule set version 2.2 in Web Application Firewall for Azure Application Gateway. So this is essentially an updated default rule set. It's now based on the OWASP core rule set 3.3.4. It brings enhanced detection capabilities for content that's declared outside the actual content type header, and enhances remote code execution detections. And also, they're bringing in Microsoft Threat Intelligence rules. They expand across SQL injection, cross-site scripting, and application security attack patterns. The default rule set 2.2 ships at paranoia level 1 by default. It includes a higher signal, lower noise rules that rarely trigger false positives. So paranoia level 2 rules are disabled by default because they're more aggressive. You can keep paranoia level 2 disabled, or you can selectively enable paranoia level 2 rules where warranted. So, yeah, check that out. Might reduce some of your false positives. It's a bit of a random one. I don't think it is random, but there is a retirement, and I thought I would include it because it sounds scary to some people. So for Azure Front Door and Azure CDN profiles, they will end support for DHE Cypher Suites on April 1st, 2026, which is not far away. They will not support weak Cypher Suites such as, oh my days, I'm not saying these out loud, DHE RSA with AES 256, GMC SHA 348, and the same thing, but just AES 128 and SHA 256. Sorry, I'm not reading out the whole thing. If you do use DHE Cypher Suites, please do check this and check your front doors as well. Sounds like it could be nasty. Right. Now in public preview, Azure Virtual Network Routing Appliance. So an Azure Virtual Network Routing Appliance offers private connectivity for workloads across virtual networks. Using specialized hardware, it delivers low latency and high throughput and optimal performance compared to virtual machines. Deploy it into a private subnet where it will act as a managed forwarding router. Traffic can be routed using user-defined routes, enabling spoke-to-spoke communication in traditional hub-and-spoke topologies. Configured as Azure resource, it integrates seamlessly with Azure's management and governance model. So, super fast routing, high throughput. Okay, here we go. Maximum connections per second, baby. There's multiple bandwidth tiers, 50 gigabits per second, 100 gigabits per second, and 200 gigabits per second. Maximum connections per second starts at 250,000, then 600,000, and then 1.5 million. Crazy. So, yeah. I feel like if you have that sort of problem, then yeah, you've probably got other problems as well. AMD version 6, I think we talked about these VMs previously, maybe in last month. The confidential versions of those VMs in new regions. So which ones do we sort of care about? No UK West US 3, Germany West Central. That's good for us. Norway East and West, Canada Central, Canada East, Italy North, Germany North, France South. I wonder if that says more about different countries and their requirements for confidentiality. Who knows?
Yeah.
But always good to see rollouts of that as well. Now in public previews, Azure Monitor pipeline transformations. I kind of feel like we talked about this. Yeah, okay, I do remember this, but it's actually gone into public preview now. It was in private preview November 25. So this allows you to shape the telemetry that is ingested into Azure Monitor before it's actually ingested. So I did actually go and have a look at this. Yeah, so it supports... what's it support? It supports aggregation. Aggregation, filtering, schematization. That's a hard one to say. Functions, string functions, and conversions as well. Yeah, so if you want to, ingest a little less, then yeah, maybe use that. The next one, and probably the biggest thing, I don't know. It's hard to say. But yeah, there's now a private preview for vaulted backups for Azure Disk. So what this does is it gives you a vaulted tiered backup structure that is technically off-site. So it enforces, it's got vault-based isolation. Oh, so it extends of disk level protection with vault-based isolation, independent access controls, and immutability. So this is highly important, during like ransomware attacks or tenant compromises. There is regional disaster recovery as well. So you can restore disk backups to paired Azure regions. So there are sort of DR strategies and scenarios there as well. If you were to be unlucky enough to be hit by ransomware and your primary region to be down, I feel sorry for you if you're in that state. It's a pretty small one. Azure Kubernetes servers has been updated to support Kubernetes version 1.34. Right, just a couple more to go now. There's a new public preview of web application gateway, web application firewall insights. So it now offers WAF insights, the application gateway WAF, to give you an interactive view of logs and metrics. It allows you quick investigation of block requests and analysis of attack patterns and easy access to details like, the rule IDs that you're using and client IPs. You can enable enhanced filters and visualizations. You've got enhanced filters and visualizations that make troubleshooting more efficient to help to identify false positives, streamlining WAF tuning. So that's cool if you're using Application Gateway and you've struggled with that in the past. And finally, and oh my days, too many acronyms. But, right, so we have a new next generation of confidential virtual machines. So I think these are the V6. No. They're version 6 confidential machines that use 5th generation Intel Xeon processors. So I think we talked about these in the last episode, but these are the new confidential virtual machine SKUs that go along with them. DCESV6, DCEDSV6, ECESV6, and ECEDSV6 confidential virtual machines are available to you. So as we know with any new generation of family or SKU within inside of Azure, it's typical that you will get an uplift in performance for a relatively similar amount of cost. Or if there is a jump, there is there's a potential for you to drop a SKU size potentially. It really depends on your workload as well. And I think these, when we talked about them last time, I think these new instances enable like insane topologies of resources in compute. Right? It's like, I can't remember what it was, like 384 cores and like 2 TB of data of RAM. Do you know what I mean? Like scale that we've just never seen. Too much. Oh no. Okay. So these ones can quotes only go to
28 virtual CPU cores and 512 gig of memory in their standard gigabytes of memory in their standard configuration, but the memory optimized ones can do up to 64 virtual CPU cores. You can go 64 virtual CPU cores for that maximum of 512 gigabytes of memory. Okay, so maybe these aren't what the insane ones that we talked about last time. But we do like confidential VMs. They do, Intel especially has a lot of enclave and security protections there as well. So, and I do believe these new SKUs do allow CPU-based confidential AI workloads as well. I wonder how they perform, but be interesting to see, how they work. Right, so sorry, some more random stuff, I think, collection of stuff. No Chaos Studio, no Data Box. Where are we? Come on, guys, let's do it. That's it for me this month, Alan. I think you had some really good changes your side, I would say. Quite a few things I was like, ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah, there's a couple of things, isn't there? I think there's definitely a few things coming that seem interesting that I can't talk about, but it's always changing. I mean, like you said, we've not even. Can you imagine how much change there is on the Copilot side?
Yeah.
Like if we actually,
if we
dived, just peered over, sort of thing. So yeah. Cool. I didn't have anything else. I did find out what that acronym was in the end. God, where is it? I've even lost the page for it. CSRF is cross-site request forgery.
Yes. CSRF, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. Right, did you enjoy this episode? If so, please do consider leaving us a review on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube. This really helps us reach out to more people like yourselves. If you do have any specific feedback or suggestions, we'll have a link in our show notes to get in contact with us.
Yeah, and if you made it this far, thanks ever so much for listening. We'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah, thanks all.